Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to the newest episode of Java Delight. The morning, afternoon, I don't know. My brain just shut off in the middle of that. The spot of Java you need with the delight you want to get to help you get through your day. We're thankful for everybody that's tuning in. I already see that we have Her Night has said, I hope everyone has a blessed and wonderful day. We have Brian Tracy saying good morning this morning. If you're there, say hello, give us some love, some appreciation. If you're not, just act like you're not there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us. This is Gavin Kerr, the wonderful and handsome. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Excuse me, I'm doing great. I'm very thankful for today. Lot going on. You and I have been talking every day. Brett and I have been talking every day. I'm finally starting to feel like I'm catching up on things from LA and the NFL draft. I've hit a point where I see a future. I see all my hard work starting to pay off, and I'm very grateful for the people that see it and believe in it and are working hard like you. So I'm starting today. I woke up very grateful for the day, very in a zone, ready to attack the day and really be able to know what I'm thankful for and know what my next steps are. And yeah, I'm very happy. What about you? How are you?
I'm doing all right. I went to the orthodontist yesterday and got a very hefty bill. My dental work that I need done is not going to be covered by my insurance because it's orthodontist work. They don't cover that. But on the bright side, I do have the money in my savings because I have been putting money away since I was probably 10 years old. So I'm going to be both continuing to put money in my savings while also taking out to pay for that at the same time. So that is what it is, but I'm very excited to get it done and get my teeth properly fixed and straightened and all that. Very excited about that. And other than that, I'm just trying to get more DJ shows.
I love it, buddy. I love it. Brett Gordon, good to see you there. It looks like we're going to hit 100 today. I would be happy if Cleveland hit 60 today. Jacqueline Rodriguez, love you. Thank you for showing up. I love it. By the way, I love that she speaks Spanish in every single one of her comments. Yeah. I know that she's probably talking about me and how handsome Gavin is, but I literally am like, I got to learn Spanish just so I know what she's saying and all that, Yeah. I love it though. But we're here. We're having fun. We're grateful for everybody that's showing up. Oh, I meant to click that one. There's Gavin's kiss. So Gavin, tell me, what is your article you want to start the day with?
Yeah. So
I'm letting you go first because yesterday I stole yours. I felt bad.
No, you're good. So my article is about some positivity that is coming from the big guys at the top of the food chain.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. India's richest man retools factories to provide free oxygen to 1 in 10 COVID patients.
What? That's great news.
Yeah. As India grapples with the unprecedented new wave of COVID-19, one of the country's many companies is working around the clock to get free oxygen out to people in need. Traditionally, Reliance Industries is not a manufacturer of medical-grade liquid oxygen. But over the year into the pandemic, the company, which is owned by India's richest man, Mukesh Ambani, has gone to become one of the nation's largest producers for a single location, supplying over 55,000 MT of medical-grade liquid oxygen to people since March 2020. It is a refinery cum petrochemical complex in Jamanar. No, Jamanar.
I'm looking
Jamanar?
for it. Highlight it. I was trying. Oh, Jamanagar.
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 And other facilities. Reliance is producing over 1,000 MT of medical grade liquid nitrogen or liquid oxygen per day, or over 11% of India's total production, meeting the needs of nearly every 1 in 10 patient needing the life-saving treatment across the nation. Nothing is more important than saving every life in India, or every life as India battles against the new wave of COVID-19 pandemic. The switch over to producing a high purity medical grade oxygen hasn't been too difficult for Reliance engineers. The main facility is already designed for refining and petrochemicals grade oxygen. That said, medical grade oxygen has to be produced in liquid form at negative 183 degrees Celsius, with almost 99.5% purity, which possesses extraordinarily challenges and risk in production and maximizing tonnage. I'm proud of the engineers at There's that word again. Jama Magnar.
I love you. Hey, reading in public is hard, man. I hate reading out loud. So please know when you're struggling, I feel. Oh, I get it.
Who have worked tirelessly with the great sense of patriotic energy or urgency to meet this new challenge. They've risen to the occasion and delivered to when India is needed it most, said Ambani of his staff, who already is bringing immediate relief to over 100,000 COVID-19 patients on a daily basis.
So from what I gathered, there's a lot of big words, but there's also a lot of, they're giving away the COVID vaccine, and India is having a very bad problem with it right now. I don't know if you've looked at it at all. India has been having massive amounts of COVID cases. They're catching up to the United States very quickly. And as scary as that is, what's more intimidating is the fact that the Indian culture has a poorer, and I don't mean to sound like that, like in a bad way, but they do have a lower income of people there. And because of that, it makes it harder for them to be able to provide actual medical care, assistance, or warnings for people. So the fact that this doctor's doing that, that's great news. That's great stuff.
No, he's not even a doctor. He just is extremely rich, and he's the richest man in India, and he just owns factories. So he's turning his factories into new facilities to make this product. It's free oxygen.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Good morning, Sherry McQueen. We are so glad to have you here. And yes, they can't get the vaccines. I've heard that too. It's scary what's happening today out there. It's like I don't want to say scary, but it's one of these things where it's intimidating because people don't know what to do, where to go, who to trust, what to believe in. And everybody's angry at certain things, like, and then you add in the selfishness of who we are as people, just in general. Like Brett Gordon, he's just like the selfish person, you know. I just had to make him laugh, and then I got his laugh on camera. I love it. Here's my positive.
When you go to like a hospital or something, the first two things that they will usually give you are either oxygen or what the hell is it called? They'll give you an IV with fluid in it to hydrate you. I can't remember the name of the fluid, but so it's weird to think of oxygen as something that we could run out of. But like they said in the article, it needs to be 99.5% pure oxygen, and it comes in liquid form, which is it's extremely cold. It's negative 138 degrees Celsius.
Wow. Brett did chime in from the background there. The quick description, his 27-foot high residence, 27 floor high residence, about 400,000 square feet with 6 levels of parking, 3 helipads, a health spa, a ballroom, and a 50-seat movie theater. So wait, this is the residence he owns? Like, that's insane to think. Like, I love it. Good for him.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and is buying the vaccine to help get people. I love it. There needs to be more people like that in the world. When I grow up, I want to be just like Brett. There's a lot of us that do. I'm still trying to grow my hair like him. It just does not want to grow on the top of my head. Next thing is I will show my article, and I actually am very happy with this one. I found this morning. It's been sitting in my background waiting to show you and Brett. Close. This 5-year-old girl is a neighborhood hero for drawing colorful messages of hope on her house during lockdown. Take a look. So first off, that picture, that smile, look at that. That is just absolutely adorable. I don't have kids, but I love that. The little girl has become famous in her neighborhood after drawing colorful messages of hope on her family's garage door during lockdown. Mom of 2, Christine Hilditch, has been letting her 5-year-old daughter, Ellie, I'm going to call her Ellie, turn their black glossy garage door into a massive art project. Twice a week since April 2020, Ellie has let her imagination run wild, covering the space with mermaids, dolphins, Spider-Man, dinosaurs. She has this week illustrated it with rainbow flowers and the word hope as lockdown is further eased in Scotland. Ellie has a little stool she can see, look what happens, Gav. Ellie has a little stool she can stand on to help her reach higher up, and her artist mom gives her a hand with things that she struggles to reach. People stop them in the street. That's weird. People stop in the street to ask if the drawings are hers, and the adoring fans have begun leaving boxes of chocolate on their doorstep. The proud mom, Christine, said, "Whatever comes into her head, she does. It could be quite random. One week, we had fairy tales, as she had been learning about them at school. So there was a fairy godmother, and it began once upon a time, and the end." Happily ever after. She did poppies to remember for Remembrance Day and for one Valentine's Day and one for Valentine's Day. It depends on what is happening around her. When neighbors shops ran out of chalk, rather than paying for more online, Christine decided to make some from scratch using plaster of Paris, food coloring, poster paints, and flour. Christine added, "She is just drawing outside to make people happy." Look at this.
That's amazing. I know that you could like home make chalk. I know you can make Play-Doh, but I know you could do chalk.
You could do chalk. You could do what taffy, homemade. My niece had me make it for the one time. Slime. I don't know what's with kids and slime, but they love to make slime. Christine is. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Christine has already worn out one broom by scrubbing down the garage, but when it rains, the chalk is all washed away. Ellie starts from scratch on the next dry day. In August, was rushed to the hospital by an ambulance after she flew off a roundabout in a play park and broke her elbow, needing an operation to fix it. Oh, look at the unicorns. But while she couldn't draw with her right arm, she became ambidextrous. See, oh my God, I love this story. Christine said she was learning how to draw with her left hand. She just wanted to keep going. She was going into P1, first grade, so she really was anxious about not being able to do stuff. She can write with her left hand as well as her right. A smile goes a long way. Ellie is now loving being back at school as lockdown in Britain eases. And one thing is for sure, this little girl is no doubt excelling in her art class. I absolutely love this. I think that this is a testament for many different things, from mom being able to open up. I don't see my parents ever, even in my 30s, letting me draw on the garage door. I don't see parents opening up their spots. It's theirs. this girl got to not only open up her creativity during lockdown, she got to spread positivity. And then when something happened so negative, like breaking her arm, this 5-year-old girl did not stop. She turns around and goes and starts using her left arm. This is a testament for parents, kids, everything. I absolutely love this. This is one of those that I love to get our day started with, because it's people actually being people and finding the best in what's out there. So I absolutely loved this. It was a great way to start our day. Gavin, what's the rest of your day like, buddy?
What do I have planned today? I don't know. I'm almost done with the laundry. I got one more basket left, so I'm happy about that. I'm probably gonna mow the lawn again since it's nice out. And I have a disgusting amount of dandelions all throughout the yard, so it's taking care of the house, taking care of the yard a little bit. I have karaoke tonight.
Ooh, where's it at?
So I got karaoke at Tony K's in Berea from 9 to 11.
What is the song you're gonna sing?
I don't know.
You don't know yet?
Yeah, no.
Brett,
I might sing Jolene tonight. I've been singing that a lot on my own.
Jolene. Oh, Brett, won't you be my Jolene? See, his laugh in the back was perfect. Do you know who we're having today? Are you excited for our guest?
I do not know who we're having today.
Let me tell you, his name is Rick Hyland. Rick is a successful consulting executive who loves living and managing his life by purpose, goals, and effective stress management principles. He lives in Salt Lake City, Utah, has received his master's in business administration from the Ivey Business School in London, Ontario, Canada. Rick and his wife, Cheryl, have 6 kids and 15 grandkids. Oh, my goodness. In 1987, after getting one of the lowest grades in his first master's class, Rick developed his purpose statement. The purpose statement read in part, "I will strive for and share the benefits of continuous improvement in my life, my family's, and those in my circle of influence." That purpose statement helped him become the youngest hire into a 30-person continuous consulting company. Over 32 years, Rick has helped companies grow that company into well-recognized 230-person continuous improvement company. He retired in 2017 as the COO of the Americas and the second largest shareholder. Whoop, whoop. So he's going to invest in our TV show. Get ready, guys. Living by purpose statement. Rick has achieved success in all areas of his life. Rick has run 14 marathons, including qualifying and running the 2003 Boston Marathon. Together with his family, he recently climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. He loves striving for peak performance and other accomplishments, his financial, spiritual, and relationship and physical goals. He has a lot more here, but I'm not going to give up everything he said, because the truth is, I'll probably read more in a little bit, but I absolutely am excited to meet this guy. Rick sounds like he's done a lot of amazing things. It sounds like he is one of these people who's going to inspire us. And at the end of the day, I'm excited to learn from somebody new today. He has a lot. Love you, Brian.
I'm still stuck on how many kids he has and how many grandkids he has. Because the thing about, like, if you just do the math, like if all those grandkids have, like, first off, so he has approximately, if you split it up, he's got 6 kids, he's got 15 grandkids. So he has about like three grandkids per kid that he has. If they end up each having 6 kids and those 6 kids have 6 kids, he's got a damn school, like a full on, like a Cleveland class.
Well, the average school teacher in the United States is only allowed to have a class of 25. So 1 to 25 ratio.
No, I mean like an entire like grade, like a graduating class. Like if they keep having kids at 5 at a time, give it like one more generation, and he's gonna have a whole graduating class.
You know what? All right, let me ask you this. No, Jessica Dukas, you do not need to apologize for being late. If you'd like to come on, let us know. We'll send you a link. because I'd love for you to talk about your brother's stuff today. That way we can make sure we talk about it in the right way. It's a very important day. We want to make sure we're giving thanks and appreciation and spreading like great things, because that's the point of everything we're doing. Brian Tracy says Rick will need a lot of garage doors. He will.
Yeah.
He will. That's 100% true, Brian. You know, Gavin, you're an artist in your own way. You have your musician. You have all your stuff you do. I will come in 5. Brett, do you mind sending her as a moderator the link? I love watching his face.
Yeah.
I will try.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Brett Gordon. Give it from Businesses Are People Too. He's not just handsome. He is honestly one of the greatest human beings alive.
And clueless on how to work this thing. So we'll give it a shot.
Hit the share button, hit copy, and then send it to her in Facebook. Boom. Was that easy? So, have you ever been an artist where you draw and do you draw at all? Do you paint? See, I don't ever stay in the lines.
I've done painting. I did wood burning for a while as well.
See, I don't stay between the lines. It's not meant to be like I don't want to. Like, look, I drew this yesterday. It says go change the world, right? Do you see my world? I'm already outside the lines of it, and I was not trying to do that. I tried so hard to make that look like the earth. But I
mean, well, Brandon, the earth isn't a perfect circle.
It's flat.
I'm going to quit the show right now.
I was waiting for Brett to just disappear in the background, too. Like, nope, not going to go that way, Brandon. Nobody's going to play with me on that.
No.
I've never
begin to entertain that thought.
I literally, I don't think the world is flat. I want to make sure I state that way no jokes are there. But
shouldn't. Nobody should.
But I do think that there's a lot of things out there we don't know that the world's connected to. I believe that the universe has a way it's connected and things fall into place. Have you ever noticed how when you're completely at your darkest point and you're begging the universe, God, whoever your higher power is, for an answer, and then something random happens a day later and you're like, wait a minute, how did this happen? Where is this coming from?
Yes and no. So I don't have a higher power that I pray or beg or look up to or anything like that. I just kind of if something goes wrong in my life, I'm like, all right, what's the next thing? What is the next thing that I do about this? How can I either try to change this and fix it, or how do I start to heal and get past it? That's how I look at things. I don't try to ask anyone for help or a higher being to take it away or anything like that. I just kind of go head on with it or just walk away from it. But no, there have been times where I've thought of something, I'm like, oh, how crazy would it be if this happened? Or oh, I really like this to happen, and then it does happen. I'm like, huh, that was weird.
So for me, I started my company and COVID hit, right? Boom. Right off the bat, nobody's adding a new product to anything. Nobody's bringing anything new. And I'm sitting there and I'm losing my mind. I literally am losing my mind. And it's one of those things that I wanted to know that my company was meant to be more. And I when I say universe, I literally asked the universe, and I was outside, I'd be in front of a fire, whatever. And I'm like, look, I want the chance to show people the true benefits of this. How can I break through? And I'm thankful because it came through. I really am thankful this morning. I woke up I went to bed super early in a negative mindset. Brett even texted me this morning going, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. Negativity, it just sticks to me because of the fact everybody that wants to be negative, it just seems to, I'm the empathetic person that's going to be like, oh, don't worry, it's going to be okay. And I listen and all that, but then I don't refill myself when I'm hurting. And when I started to do that, that's when blessings not just overflowed, but they came in like crazy, from LA to the draft to Brett Gordon coming into my life to Gavin Kerr being someone who's like, hey, I want to work with you. Sometimes it takes that step back to looking in and seeing how blessed you really have it, how good you really have it. And I woke up this morning and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. For real, I've had a lot of hard times recently and a lot of good times, and I wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you guys so much for being so unbelievably awesome and faithful and believing in the dream of what we want to do and changing the world like this. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. I have someone really special in the background. Today is a day dedicated to Miss Dugas.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Can you hear me? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm not in my office. I wasn't in my office this morning, so I went out to get some Starbucks first thing because that was my brother enjoyed that every now and then. So went to do that. Went to the grocery store really quick, and then sitting just trying to chill. And I was like, "Oh crap! What time is it?"
So today is a very, very special day for you. It's a heavy day, but you're doing a lot of good things. Tell us a little bit about what your plan is for today, because we're all participating.
Yeah. So, my brother would have been 36 today, and I started off just completely sobbing. I have to give a very public thank you to Tokyo Bento. I don't know if did you see what I sent you, Brandon, about, okay. So I mentioned obviously on Tuesday on the show about his birthday today and doing random acts of kindness today and all of that. And I shared a little bit about my brother, and he loved golf, black and yellow, like sharing a little bit about what he liked. And Tokyo Bento commented on my Facebook post this morning. He went and played golf today in Japan and used a yellow ball wearing black and yellow. And I'm like, just completely, thank God I don't do my eye makeup today, because I was just so thankful. So I just wanted to give him a huge shout out and say how much that meant to me. And I sent it to my mom and Adam's dad as well. And they were so thankful. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Oh my gosh, that Tokyo Bento, you're not here yet this morning, but guys,
because he's playing golf with my brother right now.
Right? Like, just unbelievably awesome. Tokyo, you are awesome, 100%. Doing things like that are so genuine, so simple, and so easy to do. I literally can't be more happy for that moment, like, because that is love, sincerity, and everything you'd want as in once. We're truly honored that Tokyo is a part of our community and everything we're doing. So Jessica, I have on black, and my only thing of yellow that I could find that had black and yellow in it. So I wore that for you today, and I jumped it. I got on here. I'm wearing all black and yellow, and I have yellow socks that are in the dryer that I'm going to put on. But tell us more about today and how you're going to be celebrating your brother.
Yeah. So my daughter is gonna make some cupcakes, black and yellow cupcakes, because she loves to bake, and she's gonna do that. And then I'm doing a giveaway in my text community. I'm giving away 6 copies of the book that I wrote his story in today. So I put that out there I don't know, a few weeks ago. I said, hey, if you join my text community, I'm gonna give away 6 copies for his birthday. And so I'm doing that. And then I'm kind of going through some old pictures with my kids. Y'all see some of that there. That is little me.
Oh my gosh.
I know. We had, I mean, can you catch his hair there? I mean, hello, bowl cut 95. That
I think
was.
I had the same haircut.
So going through some of that with them today. And then I kind of just have been every single year going through and whatever I can find to do. I'm going to do some love slapping on TikTok and, just some different things throughout the day, whatever I feel drawn to do that feels really good in the moment. I've always kind of operated on his birthday of being, whatever feels kind to do in the moment, whatever I'm capable of doing, I will do. And then of course, going through all of the pictures of the black and yellow and going through the hashtag, RAK for AQR 2021 is our hashtag. We just up the year every year. And, going through that and seeing what everybody's doing. And that's something that's important to me to kind of share what other people are doing too. And even this act of people coming together that knew him, but then the people that didn't even know him that are taking part of it, like that's so huge, because that in itself is a random act of kindness towards those of us that loved him and all of that. I have his picture here. You can't see it, but I wear that every year too. And so just doing what feels good to do today and is the easiest thing for me in the moment, because you kind of have those waves, which is what I talked about on Tuesday. You have those waves, like I was sobbing this morning and then I was laughing 5 minutes later, and I'll be sobbing later, I'm sure. But it's just rolling with what feels good and remembering the point of the day, which is to honor him through being kind to other people. And what does that look like? How can we do that?
I love that. I love that. Being kind to other people, I think, is the key there. So being kind is very essential in today, because there's a lot of people who don't realize how simple something is. Wearing all black and playing golf for somebody else,
right,
makes such a big difference, and how much that little thing you're doing can do it. If I could do anything today other than slapping people and love slapping them, what can Brandon and Gavin do to go out and spread kindness and positivity that would emphasize your brother? And I'm going to TikTok it just for you, Jazz.
I don't know. Like, I think he would be very much like something that would make people laugh, something that would bring a smile to their face. We did one year, I can tell you some of the things we've done before. My son, we bought a whole bunch of yellow golf balls, and we had put in memory of Adam in a little bag and put the golf ball in there. And we just dropped him off at the local golf range and just let people get a free golf ball. And, and it just was that was one thing that we've done. We had, my daughter has, when she bakes and stuff, she'll do something in black and yellow, and then we'll go give it to the neighbors or something else, or, just little things like that. Something that brings in things that he loved. He loved gaming. He loved golf. He loved music like nobody's business. Rap music was his favorite. And I always joke around like that if he had a goal, he would be like in heaven bringing Biggie and Pac together. Like that would be his what he would do.
Oh, that's Biggie and Pac. I think that would make a fun rap. Oh, yeah, I'd love that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, he would make it a goal. He would be like, that's been going on too long, you guys. We're gonna fix this right now. He would do that, and he would just do anything to make people laugh. Like that's just, he always was quoting movies. He had been known for, and my mom will get a kick out of this if she sees it. Do you remember in the early 90s, late 80s, the Martini and Rossi Asti commercial? Do you remember the Asti Spumante commercial that were really dramatic? He used to do that commercial, like the whole thing from start to finish. And I'm telling you, Brad knows what I'm talking about. And he goes right to the end and he went, Bella. It would be this whole moment. And I still remember, I have this one memory of He loved The Silence of the Lambs. And he would often quote several, like about the fava beans, quote the put the lotion in the basket and all of that. And I remember one day we were on a call with a friend of mine, and she had never seen the movies, didn't know anything about it, and he was quoting them like, put the lotion in the basket or it gets the hose again. And she was like, what?
Oh my God.
Is there something wrong with your brother? Is he okay?
When I was still waiting tables, I was putting food in. I was putting people's leftovers into their containers. And the one girl, she was probably like 15, insisted that she did it herself. I was like, all right, whatever, maybe it's like a sanitary thing or whatever, like that's her deal. So she's really struggling to get her food into the box, and I've got everybody else's food already packed up. I look at her, and without even thinking, like, Kitchen Gavin started speaking. Server Gavin went out the window. Kitchen Gavin looks at her, and I go, it puts the food in the box. And the whole thing, and I think, oh shit, I'm about to get fired. And the whole family looks at me, and the mother just goes, put the lotion in the basket.
He would have gotten a kick out of that. Because he would have continued, like he could sense someone's discomfort and then make laughter out of that, and just continue with it.
The lip thing, I can't do it. But.
Yeah, he would do that too. He loved that movie. He loved, Scarface was another one of his favorites. He would, I have a picture of him somewhere with the, t-shirt from I think that movie that a friend of his took. But yeah, he just was into like anything that was larger than life was what he was about. And so I tell people all the time, like, do whatever you need to do in his honor that makes you comfortable. But he would have been like, go big or go home. Like he would have just been like, putting himself out there. But that was his personality. He was very loud and larger than life, and the life of the party, never knew a stranger. And I remember when he died and we had the viewing at the funeral home, they said, we've never seen a crowd like this. Like, we must have been in the receiving line for like hours, like long time. And then I remember looking up at the actual, we had the thing at the cemetery, and just people. I've never seen a crowd like that before. Like, just it looked like we were at a concert or something. And so just the amount of people that I know. He would have been all about that too. He would have been like,
come on, sis.
You see that random guy I got 2 seats right next to Jessica Dugas. You can sit right next to her. Like Gavin's offering now. He's like, I'll do it.
You could have like what are the big boxes called that they have at like football games and stuff like that? You get like box seats.
Yeah.
Have like special snacks up there.
Yeah, we did a balloon release at his funeral, and we had black and yellow balloons. And the odd thing about this is that I told you guys on Tuesday, my grandfather had died the week before him, and there was a huge thing of balloons that everybody had sent up, and 2 balloons broke off of that and floated away. Like, and it was just this moment of like, oh, that I can't believe that this all just happened, but it was beautiful. It really was. Oh, the shirt that he's wearing says "Go big or go home." I think that's awesome.
Show it, Brett. Awesome. Show it.
Here's my message to you: golf ball shape, but it's the back of the shirt. If you can see it, I don't know.
Yes, I love it.
It's the C-17. The biggest cargo plane that the Air Force has right now. Go big or go home.
I love it. Perfect. That was him. 100%. Go big or go home. That was it. So, I mean, I'm just thankful of everybody everybody's contribution today, everybody who reaches out, even if people are busy and they can't, like I've already gotten several text messages of people wearing their shirts, which you guys, for those of you that have the Adam t-shirt, Tokyo Bento, you had me sobbing this morning and I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. We had t-shirts made the first year that we did this, and God, so it's been like 10 years now. So we really need to redo the t-shirts, you guys. So I promise you we will do that next year and everybody can have their, because mine's been through the wash so many times in the last 10 years. I think we all kind of are overdue for new ones. So I promise you guys we'll do that next year.
Wonderful.
You're
Brandon,
muted.
I just didn't care that I was muted. I muted because the dogs, like my parents left and the dogs were free and they know where I'm at. They literally, the door doesn't lock. And if the wind blows, it opens. They know this. I had stuff in front of the door even, and they pushed the door open together to get in here to hear this story. And now, did you see that?
Look at, they know. They know when the important stories are on.
Ouch.
I just
Sometimes
love
I'll
that
have
so much of Brandon's background is black and yellow too.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because that our house that we bought in the end of September, the whole eat-in area of the kitchen and the living room are all yellow walls. And then the couches we bought are like a dark gray. And so my whole living room looks like my brother's been decorating.
I will just say this. You saw everything shake. That's because they were wrestling and they hit my desk and Buddha just fell out the window and I haven't put the screens in yet. So Buddha is now outside in a bush somewhere in my parents' front yard.
I thought that Buddha was the name of one of the dogs. And then I heard you have a little Buddha statue. I was like, you're so calm about this. How much delight did you have this morning?
A lot. I put it in my coffee. I put it on my bagel. Put it in my mouth.
Could you imagine if Buddha actually fell out a window and then just went right back to...
The gravity
maybe
was
he
meant
never
to pull me. Gravity was meant to make me grounded again.
Something like that. Something like that.
Yes.
So Jessica, if Gavin and we do not have, I want to make sure I point this out for Mr. Brian Tracy, Bumblebee onesies. I do not
That's
have
sad.
a Bumblebee onesie. Trust me, I know. But I think I loved your idea of the golf balls. I want to go to Dick's Sporting Goods after this, buy a bunch of yellow golf balls, and there's a really high-end golf course around the corner. Tiger Woods played at it once, for real, when I was in high school. It was a big deal because he was an amateur golfer, and like I've never seen this much traffic out where my parents live. So I was like, what the heck is this? And now he's Tiger Woods. But what happened, Brett? I don't know. Brett, I don't know. What happened, Brett? Brett, what happened? You're going to have to bring yourself in now. I don't know what happened to you.
No, nothing happened. I was just telling Tokyo he rocks for doing what he was doing for Jess today.
Oh.
I was confused.
We all were confused.
I'm like, Brett, what did you do?
I think Tokyo was also confused.
Yeah.
He was like,
So-
why do I rock? What happened?
What did I rock? But I love the idea of taking the golf balls, going out and giving them to people to go hit. And I just think that's a great idea because it spreads such a good thing. And then you know that the golf course is going to pick them back up and they're going to be used again. And I thought that was a great way of spreading it. It's that, or I'm going to drive out to Gavin's house and we're going to go walk around the mall and just start holding doors for everybody outside the mall. So that way we're just being nice, wearing black and yellow, holding doors.
Hey, that's great. That would be great too.
No, that.
Anything. It doesn't. Some people get this idea that in order to honor someone, that in order to honor yourself, even if we're talking about self-care, that it's going to cost all this money.
Can you hear her?
No, I
Can you? Okay.
I think it was my stuff because all of a sudden I'll shut up. You keep talking.
No, I was just, when we were talking about honoring someone else or even honoring ourselves, a lot of people feel like, oh, this is going to cost a lot of money or it's going to cost a lot of time. And then they don't do it because they overthink it. And that's why for me, like, I keep it so whatever I feel like doing in the moment is what I'm going to do. It's what I feel good about. And so it's great to plan things out too, if you want to plan things out, but it doesn't take a lot. Holding the door for someone could, like you talked about, could be your one random act of kindness. And go knock on your neighbor's door. How many of us have a neighbor that we've never even talked to before? Like, just go say, hey, like, just wanted you to know that I'm here. I don't know if anybody still does the cup of sugar thing, but whatever, you need something, I'm over here. And that you just never know. It could be the one thing. You just saying hi to someone could be the one thing that makes their entire day. And so it doesn't take a lot of time or money or even effort. And I think, whatever you believe in, whether it's good vibes, karma, whatever, like, it's good for you and it's good for everybody.
I agree. I think that that's a very important statement because a lot of people don't realize, like, we have that neighbor. Everybody has that neighbor that you kind of just avoid because they're a little off. So my parents have lived across the street from this guy for years. And when I say years, it's been like 30 years for real. And they fight, and he fights with all his neighbors. So much so that one of the neighbors was freezing Roundup and throwing it in his yard. Dead serious. Like, she told everybody like she was bragging. Now,
wait, Roundup, like the weed killer?
Yeah, that way his grass gets yellow patches all over. She thought that was funny. I was like, that's not nice. That's mean. And she was like bragging about it. So
That's clever, though.
It is. I did give the clever. I gave her that because he's very into his yard. Now, I say that, but then the other day I'm outside and he's out there cutting his grass, and you could just see he's older than my dad, and he's like loving his yard. And I walk up and I go, so why are you so mad about everybody in the neighborhood? And I literally have never said a word to this guy in 30 years. I'm the kid that threw rocks in his driveway when I was a kid waiting for the bus and stuff like that. And he goes, it's not that I don't like people. It's the fact that they don't respect my stuff. So him and I just started talking. I talked to the dude that everybody thinks is like crazy and a lunatic for over an hour. Yeah. And then when I left to go run my errands, he literally every day since then has been waving to me. He says hi. If I'm outside, he'll walk up my parents' driveway to come talk to me. That little thing made such a difference. That's not me bragging about me, but it's my family's had this mindset of him for years. And I'm sitting there going, that one little twist made such a difference in his life that now he feels comfortable walking up the people's driveway, like my parents. Yeah. And my parents like, why do you talk to him? And I'm like, because he's actually cool. Like, he's not a bad dude at all. He's just very into his yard. So that little thing, go do that today for Jessica's brother, because you never know that little thing might do to change someone's life. You know what? I'm not even going to bring that comment up. I'm going to bring this one up.
I would like to share one thing before I go today about taking care of yourself too. So what Adam had was an very advanced form of melanoma, which is skin cancer. And skin is one of our easiest things that we can see. We can see that on our bodies, and we can look at that and look for any changes that are going on in your skin. And also, I think a lot of people, when we're talking about melanoma, are quick to say use sunscreen. But here's my little caveat to that, is that number one, the sun is very good for you. We need that vitamin D to fight off things like cancer. So being out in the sun is good. And if you're going to use something to protect your skin, to make sure you're looking at the ingredients, because your skin is the biggest organ that you have. Anything that a lot of the sunscreens that are out there are not actually good for your skin. So please look at the ingredients, but also take care of yourself and don't be afraid of the sun. Adam was in landscaping. Adam was out in the sun all of the time. He used sunscreen all the time. So it wasn't like something that could have prevented what he went through. However, it's so important. Like, don't be afraid of, living your life just because of things like this, because the form that he had was a lot more rare than the little ones that can be taken off of your skin and all of that. So just don't be afraid of the sun, but be mindful of changes that are going on in your skin. And that's a random act of kindness that you can do for yourself, is to notice the changes on your body and pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Absolutely.
Very well said. Don't forget your SPFs because you don't want to get burned. Like I got burned on. I'm bald, so I get burned like up here. Like
Oh
the sun.
yeah, that's some. I didn't even think about that. You got to worry about taking care of your dome, huh?
Dude, you have
Yeah.
no idea. Like it's like red. Like I look like an Oompa Loompa. It's not cool.
But just look at those ingredients. Just look at the ingredients are so important, because what's the point of putting on something on your skin to prevent skin cancer if it causes cancer? Like,
Yeah.
you got to look at the ingredients. That's my big, and there's a ton now, thank God, that we're in a world now that has so many more holistic options, more green options, vegan options that are out there. Just look at that stuff. It's not hard to find. Just do the extra 5 minutes of research to say, hey, what am I putting on my body?
Yeah.
What ingredients do cause, like what ingredients should we watch out for? Because I personally, I never really buy sunscreen or use it, and if I do, then I just get whatever the cheapest bottle is.
Yeah, you have the what the vitamin D is necessary to have for a healthy immune system. I don't know the exact ingredients offhand, but there is a website that I will send as you guys are doing the next segment of the show. I will send you that you can go and look at which of these skin products are not healthy for you at all. So I'll send that over and y'all can put it in the comments at the end of the show or something. Yes.
So, question, Professor Dugas. So, with this, is there a difference in men and women's skin for what they should be using on this, or do you not know? Should I ask a dermatologist?
You should ask a dermatologist, but I will say that as far as melanoma is concerned, it presents itself in different ways in men and women. So I know that for women, and a lot of women don't know this, that one of the most common places to find a malignant melanoma is in the vaginal region. And a lot of women did not know that, are not aware of that. That's very common. So just little things like that. And it's not hard, you guys, to just go to a search engine and say, hey, like, give me some melanoma facts, or where do I look on my body? What does a malignant melanoma look like? Because it's different for every single person too.
I agree. I have to do something really quick, and this is just me being me. So, yes, I agree, Brian Tracy. That would be a great idea. But
I think there are some too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Jessica, let's say you want an SPF 100, and there's only SPF 15 available, but you have an SPF 100 in your bag. Just open up a pack of Delight, put it in your hand, mix it with your sunscreen, put it together, and you just made yourself 100 BPF sunscreen with CBD in it without having any change. So don't let others make your CBD for you. Choose it yourself. It's as easy as upside down. A, B, CBD. Hey, I got a pitch in, guys.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
Hey, I should do it more. I get yelled at by everybody like, hey, you need to pitch your company more. You need to talk about your company. You need to show things more. And then everybody that watches the show all the time, they're like, so you talk about your company a lot. And I'm like, well, who else is going to? Like, I have to.
I am. I was talking about the other day when I was with the orthodontist.
I love you. Jessica Dugas does it too. Some of her people have been sending me messages too. Yeah. Like, guys, I really am honored. Like I said, I am thankful for every single one of you. I want to know what this means. Super Green, is that the name of a suntan lotion, or are you in a legalized state? The laugh is worth it every time. I just love to make Jessica Dugas laugh because she like tries so hard to hold it. She's like,
because I'm trying not to be completely obnoxious. Sometimes my microphone gets loud.
Japanese girls use sun gloves and parasols, parcels to my wife looks like a mummy at the beach. And you know what?
What is a
There's a
sun
lot.
glove? Is that just like a thin glove that you wear?
It's a glove that you would wear at the beach where I believe it protects your hands and body from the sun, but like it's another way of not getting sun poisoning and stuff like that. Jessica Dugas just shared.
Fancy gloves are that come like up to your elbows.
I don't think so, but Tokyo Bento, please let us know if it is one of those that come up to your arm like that. I think I'd wear those to the beach.
Just 15 minutes of sun exposure a day, you guys, is enough to get the vitamin D you need. So we're not talking about you need to be in the sun forever and ever and run the risk of getting burnt and all of that. 15 minutes. And you can be like Tokyo was talking about under a parasol, you're still getting that sun. You're not completely blocked off from it. But it's so important. And I think I would dare to say if you had a choice between wearing sunscreen and missing out on sun exposure, the missing out on sun exposure is the worst one.
Yeah,
I actually agree. I think so. Would you? All right. So today, yes, they are the long gloves. Yes, Gavin and I need to go shopping for long gloves, yellow golf balls, and apparently a bumblebee onesie.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's going to be one we get off Amazon.
Okay. Vitamins are kind of strange though when you think about them because we need them to survive, but our body is god awful at making them. But the amount of each one that we need to survive is usually really, really small and kind of insignificant.
Well, the reason for that is that over time our ground isn't as fertile as it once was as far as like producing a lot of the vitamins and stuff you need. Like for example, a lot of people talk about the fact that that vegans are low in B12. Most of humanity is low in B12 right now. And that's because the cows get the B12 from the grass. It's the ground that's deficient in the B12, it's not the meat issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So wait a minute. Talk to me about that for a second, because you are vegan, and I'd like to know, how do you actually be able to do such, like if you're short on B12, you can't just go buy a pill and start taking. I'm sure you could nowadays.
Yeah.
But like, is that all you do?
Yeah, you can increase your some of the, because I tend to look at food as my vitamins. So I try, even my trainer that I work with, she always encourages me to make sure that I'm having a well-balanced meal. So of different vitamins. And so if I need more iron, I'm going to eat more dark leafy greens. If I need more iodine, I'm going to eat like some sushi because the seaweed from the sushi has iodine in it. And so there's lots of different things that you can do, but there's also great supplements. Just know that supplements just be careful. Make sure you're doing your research on what you're getting and getting a high quality, because nobody oversees supplementation. Not that overseeing anything is necessarily a good thing, but do your research on it is all I tell the people.
Definitely. Like I recently started taking again iron supplements just because I have low iron, which is weird because I do consume quite a bit of red meat and dark leafy greens as well.
Did you know though that you can simply cook with a cast iron skillet to increase your iron?
Yeah, I do that too.
Yep, that was one of the first things that when my daughter was sick, he told us to get a cast iron skillet and cook in there.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I honestly have never heard
that. Get worn off and into the food.
Mm-hmm.
So before you go, Jessica, we have a very special guest today coming on. His name is Mr. Rick Hyland. I read a few of his bio earlier. He's conducted research consisting of 1,400 participants from several different countries. He does regular exercise, creating habits from daily planning and regular service. Ooh, somebody's at the front door. In his online video-based training course for small businesses, Crush Your Goals for Small Business, he teaches small business owners and leaders how to improve business performance by up to 20%. He sounds like he's going to be absolutely amazing to have on, and I just want to keep the good energy going. So, Jessica, I know you're going to be going and celebrating your brother today and doing a whole bunch. Gavin and I, after the show, are going to figure out exactly what we're going to do to honor your brother and be able to come out there and show it other than just wearing black and gold. And thank you for coming on today and spreading this positivity and love for such a heavy topic. And thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity as always. And I want to just thank everybody who's participating today. You didn't have to know him. And I think he would be thrilled to know he has even more friends now than he did when he was here. So
I love it. I love it. Hey, Jess.
yes.
Don't forget to tag me when it's time to, or text me when it's time to do a love slap, because I want to slap some people. All right.
I will.
Thank you, Jess.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Justin.
Bye. So, Gavin, are you excited for our next guest?
I am. I'm very excited.
He has done a lot of things. He has been everywhere. Rick has listeners and viewers in 5 different areas. He has 7 steps to increase your company's execution to achieve a 20% improvement. 100% of the profits from Live on Your Purpose go to 2 different charities, the 100 Who Care, SLC, and the organization who donates to local charities are Operations Underground Railroad, an organization who rescues sexually exploited children. I honestly am ecstatic to meet him. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rick Hyland. Hello, how are you, sir?
What a great intro. I'm doing great now.
Wonderful. Glad to hear. I love your background.
Right? And it's not a green screen for once, so we're actually able to mean it. Like, you actually have a great background.
Yeah, I'm in my office.
Very nice. Okay. So I'm going to go right off the bat. Here's his website, everybody. Go click it. Wait, did I grabbed Jessica's website. My bad. She just shared that to me, and I thought I had yours in the lineup ready. My bad. Let's restart that. There you go. This is Rick's website. Now, you've done a lot of things. I read through your bio. I broke it down throughout the beginning today so I can make sure to get everything in there. But I love that you're, like you said, you're doing things with these charities. So talk to me first about this Live Your Purpose and going for the 2 charities that you go. How did you choose them, and how does this work so we can get people to help the charities?
Yeah, that's a great question. So after I retired from my 32-year consulting career, I'm looking to see, what is the next step in contribution when you're 60 years old. And I had wrote a purpose statement when I was 26 that helped me find my career, and I can talk about that later. But as I look back to my purpose statement around continuous improvement and helping others and myself and my family, this idea to write this book about how this purpose statement had changed my life. And then as I got digging in the research and finding out all the health benefits and all the life benefits to living with purpose, then the natural thought was, well, how can I, help benefit most people? So I published the book on Amazon, Live Your Purpose, a step-by-step guide to living your best life. And how can I contribute? And so I had already, with a doctor friend, got involved in 100 Who Care in Salt Lake City. It's organizations all over the country who basically pull in quarterly charities. We do fun things like have the charities present to us, and everybody, all the charities walk home with some financial compensation and benefit, but we all vote, and whoever gets the majority of the votes gets most of the money. And so the charities show up, and they've got great presentations and videos, and it's really a lot of fun. And then also, the Operational Underground Railroad is doing a fantastic effort. I don't know if you've seen their videos, but, sexual exploitation is such a big issue today. And so they're doing a fantastic job, and they always need money. So yeah, those were the 2 charities that right now I care most about. So all the profits and proceeds of the book are going towards those 2 charities. And so, it's been a lot of fun. In fact, I ran a little promotion and on Amazon, where you can find the book, Live Your Purpose. It ran #1 for a week on 3 different categories on Amazon. Because, you know, when you put your book on Amazon, there's a million categories, and you want to focus on the ones where you think the readers will be, you know, most interested. So anyhow, yeah, that's a little bit about what I've been up to the last year.
I
Congratulations
love
on
that.
the #1 spot.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I can't ever say I've gotten that. So that's like something like you get to brag about that. So have that moment. In 3 categories, you said, right? You get 3.
Yeah, it was life balance, success in business, and I think it was a general productivity one. But anyhow, yeah, it's cool. It's you know, it's not a New York bestseller by any stretch of the imagination, but you know what? The cool thing is I probably get 2 or 3 notes a week from people I know or don't know on how, like this week one, an old friend that I hadn't heard from in 25 years told me him and his son had been reading the book and doing the worksheets, because at the end of each chapter, there's some exercises to do. And he'd been doing it with his son, and what an impact that had on him and the relationship and the goals they're identifying for their life. So yeah, that makes all the difference when you know you're making an impact on one.
So how did you know you were living your purpose? I mean, you said you were 60 years old. You were looking for that. I just turned 38. The baby over here is 21, and there's a lot of future ahead of us. We're all about the positivity. I love that you didn't just take the book and say, hey, I'm writing a book. You found nonprofits to connect it with and really give back. That's what we love on the show. How did you find your purpose? What was that starting thing that got you to go to that next level and realize that's my purpose?
Great question. So here I'll make the story quick, but it's really an impactful story for me. When I was 26 years old, I moved across country to go to an MBA program with my wife and 2 young babies, 4 and 2, Brett and Nicole. And it was a big move. You move away from everything you know. And I was the youngest and least experienced person in this MBA program, and I knew it. So I just put my whole heart and soul, worked as hard as I could. Wasn't the smartest tool on the shelf, so I knew I had to outwork it and work smart, and got in there. And about a month and a half, maybe 7 weeks in, we got our first big test back, and I was one of the lowest grades in the whole section of 66 people. And so I was embarrassed. I was angry. I was upset. I was having a self-pity party. This was like on a Friday. So I told Cheryl that night, I'm going to go to our unfinished townhouse basement near the MBA program, and I'm going to figure out what to do. I got to figure out my life. And so I remember one of my heroes was Stephen R. Covey and his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I read Habit 2, Begin with the End in Mind. And he talked about the importance of having a purpose, or having a mission statement, or a purpose statement, as I'll call it. And so that weekend I wrote it, and I kind of thought through, what are my strengths? How do I want to be remembered? You know, kind of forecasting who I want to be in the future, a little bit of hindsight, but mostly kind of going forward. And I don't remember any angels or revelations or any big things happening after that weekend, but I felt good about it. I went back to school. I fast forward a year and a half later. I did a little bit better, but nowhere close to valedictorian, but I did okay. And we're looking for jobs, and nothing looks really interesting. And all of a sudden, this little boutique consulting company applies. And I'm not kidding, Brandon and Gavin, almost the exact words in their application to the job as I had in my mission statement: action orientation, make a difference in people's lives, continuous improvement, start where other consulting companies leave off. I mean, it was just like tingles. And so I go home and tell Cheryl, I found my job. I apply for it. I can't remember how many days later I get back and I'm rejected. And I saw that day, I didn't want to throw another pity party. So that day I phoned the head office of the consulting company on the West Coast. And I said, you know, I said that I didn't think I was this bold, but I said, you know, basically you made a mistake. I'm not on this recruiting list. And they said, oh, well, let me look at your resume. Well, yeah, you're kind of young and you're kind of inexperienced, and the other candidates. So anyhow, I had nothing to lose. So I told them about my mission statement experience, my purpose statement experience, and the words, and how I got it, and almost exactly the same. So they said, all right, kid, sign up. Put your name on the list. You'll be 5 p.m. You'll be interview number 11. Go ahead. Long story short, I'm the only one that got the job. I go on. We grow that company 240 people from 29 people. I retire as the COO of the Americas 32 years later. So that's not the only benefit to clarifying your purpose career-wise. There's tons of other benefits. But to answer your question, Brandon, that's why I'm such an advocate of the importance of clarifying and or discovering your purpose.
I love that. We have a guest host that comes on Mondays, and he does a podcast called Businesses Are People Too. His podcast is One Square at a Time, and his focus is about developing leaders like that. So I want to connect you two because he literally, I think you and him's like energy on his podcast would be a great leading up, and he's part of our Delight Network too. So that's why I want to make sure I like say that like. Our whole goal with everything here is what you've already done. Like Rick, I'm already feeling your energy and loving you. Now you're in Salt Lake City, correct?
Yeah.
I actually have a whole manufacturing company in Salt Lake City with my CBD company. So I love Utah. It's one of my favorite states because I can do hemp there without having the problems I have in Ohio.
Well, it's funny. My second son is actually the CFO for a small medical marijuana company here in Utah. Because as you know, medical marijuana now is blessing a lot of people's lives. Yeah. From epilepsy to pain, chronic pain, back pain, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we have that connection. Yeah, I was raised in a little place called L.A., Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. Not the L.A. you were thinking of.
No.
And then 23 years ago, we moved our family here. For that same consulting company and ran our US out of Salt Lake. So yeah, we've been here for 23 years.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I really took away from your story there as well was that, so you went back, even though you rejected, you went back and you called them and you said, hey, this is wrong. You made a mistake. I need to be on this list. That had to take, well, although you didn't really have much to lose except for being rejected again, that still had to have taken a lot of courage and a lot of anxiety to get over. What did you do? Like, did you prepare yourself beforehand what you were going to say before you went on there? Like, or was this like kind of like a snapping moment for you where you're like, this is bullshit. I need to be here. You guys need to get me on this in your head. I know you didn't say that directly to him, but in your head you were thinking that, or have you always been kind of this person to just like take these leaps and take these like jumps of faith? Like where did this road of courage come into play?
That is a really good question. And I think it's all driven from my purpose, my passion, that I have singular clarity on the strengths and value that I want to bring to the world. And it's all about helping people with continuous improvement, either professionally or personally. And that's why I started the company after I retired called Continuous Improvement for Life, or CI for Life for short. And that's been my singular focus since I was 26 years old, that, whether I'm at church or whether I'm at work or whether I'm with my family or in my personal life and when I'm running marathons or whatever, I'm bringing continuous improvement to that. So when I see, get rejection on that, I go back to that purpose and say, well, is this in purpose? Is this really what I'm meant to do? And those are all good questions to be doing at every phase of life, right? Not just 26, not just 60, not my dad at 85 re-clarified his purpose during COVID, and there's a great story behind that. But so I think it comes from being super clear, Gavin, on what you want to bring to this world, and then not letting discouragement, because that is a big tool today, right? I mean, there is a lot of depression, anxiety going around, particularly with COVID. And so that's why I'm so passionate and just doing whatever I can. I got a free template on my website for people to, in 7 days, I call it the 777 process, in 7 days to answer 7 questions to develop their purpose. I just did a really cool piece of software out of a guy from Toronto, Canada, to develop this cool thing where they'll send you my audio coaching, 2-minute audio coaching every morning at whatever time you want it to hit your phone. You just hit play, and you get 2 minutes of coaching on purpose and how to develop your purpose. And then after 7 days, you've got this purpose identified. And so that's why I'm so passionate, because I think you bring such clarity and passion. And we all know in the areas of life where we're passionate and clear, that's when we have the most success, whether that be at home, work, school, wherever.
I absolutely love it. Now I'm wanting to share your website with everybody, and here we are. So you, like you said, you've run 14 marathons. I believe that's what it says in your bio.
Yeah.
And you qualified for Boston?
Yeah, I did Boston in 2003. I didn't do quite as well as I'd hoped. I bonked a bit on the mile 21 in the heat, but what a thrill to be able to qualify and run with 30,000 people. That was definitely a career or a life highlight. That was super fun.
Absolutely. One thing that I've come to notice a pattern with very successful people is they all run marathons. So this is now a goal of mine. I have to run at least one marathon to be successful. It's just determined in my head. This is one of the things that it takes. It's like one of Hercules, one of his trials that he has to do. You know, that's what is one of the labors to be successful. You got to run a marathon.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, and Brandon mentioned this up front, Gavin, so when I was writing the book, I wanted to make sure it wasn't just my experience on the value of purpose and connected goals and doing the daily and weekly habits that help you live your purpose. Because it's the whole show isn't just developing your purpose. It's then how do I connect that to my everyday activities? And that's where weekly and daily planning come in. But I did this research and I asked, well, it's close to 1,500 people now in the US, Canada, UK, and Australia. And they answered the survey about productivity and happiness, because that's kind of my passion. Because we've seen lots of rich and successful people very unhappy. And so how do I get the happiness factor, the success factor, and how do we make it all work? So what I noticed in that survey of almost 1,500 people is that the people that said they were the very happiest, what were their habits? And there were 3 habits. And one, Gavin, was exercise. They regularly exercised 20 to 30 minutes a day. And to be honest, a lot of them it was walking. So it doesn't have to always be marathons or biking or triathlons or that, although that's my personal preference. But any kind of regular exercise, that was one habit of the happiest people. The second habit was that they gave or shared or served or did regular random acts. So they thought of others, they acted for others, you know, and that might've been just their kids in service of, it might've been a charitable organization, their church, wherever, right? It might've been they're the friendliest guys in the grocery store in the lineup, you know, whatever. They're acting in service of others every day, so they get out of their own head. And then the third one was daily planning. And that is so cool for me because I'm a big believer in daily planning, to envision your day in the morning and then act it out. So just the act of having a plan each day gives you purpose, right? Like today, my purpose is, and it might be small p purpose. It's not your big purpose, overarching life one. But today, to have purpose each day gives people happiness, gives people satisfaction that at the end of the day, you know, I went to my kid's game, or, you know, I did some really good work. I had 2 great podcasts, you know, whatever it might have been, that I had a plan, I executed on it, gives people a lot of satisfaction and happiness in life. So I was thrilled, because there's lots of research to support those 3 habits, but personally, to do my own research and find those habits to be the cornerstone of happiness was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. We do have a question from the audience. Shauna Jones, I'm 50 years old. Is it too late to write a purpose statement for what I want to do with my life? I'm just going to sit back and let you run this one.
Okay, Shauna Jones, great question. I got an answer for you. So my dad calls me. So I write the book on October 12th, and he calls me. He just finishes the book. I think it was in November. He says, "Oh, Rick, I love it. I got to redo my purpose." I said, "Dad, you're 85 years old. What do you need to do why do you need to redo your purpose?" He says, "I'm in the middle of COVID. Your mother," in which I know my mom has Alzheimer's. I can't connect to friends and family. I don't have work. I don't have church service. I got nothing right now. And so I'm starting to feel sorry for myself. I'm starting to sink in. I need to reclarify my purpose at 85. So he goes through the same questions I take everybody else through. He comes up with these great values in there, like fulfillment, connection. So he knows he needs these things to fulfill his purpose and find happiness. So what does he do? Every Sunday night, he looks at that purpose. This is what weekly planning is all about. And he enacts and makes up. So instead of waiting for people to call him, he sets a goal to phone 3 grandkids and check in and find out how they're doing. He sets a goal to bake bread and drop off at the doorstep and say hi to neighbors 3 times during the week. So you get the point, right? Is that even at 85 in the middle of COVID, he found fulfillment by re-clarifying for him, rediscovering, if you will, what's my purpose at 85? Now that all these things are a no, what can I do to really make the connections and find fulfillment in my life? And every time I talk to him, he tells me doing that exercise and doing the weekly planning around fulfillment and connection, to be proactive rather than waiting for your grandkids to call or waiting for the neighbors to come find you to find fulfillment and connection. He goes out and makes it happen and proactively makes that happen. So absolutely.
I love that.
20, 50, 85, do it.
Rick, has your dad written a book? Because it sounds like the two of you together writing a book together would, like, set a standard. Like, it'd be like the new Bible,
Well, it was my mom and dad when I was 6 years old, had my first goal chart on cupboard number 2 in a house, and this is what Ricky had to do, is to do these. You're welcome, Sean. These 8 things in order to get allowance and get the check marks. And so people ask me, why do you love check marks so much? I said, why do you get so much thrill out of checking in my daily planner each day, these check marks? I said, well, it started at 6 years old. And it doesn't really have to be that meaningful, to be honest. If I have a plan and execute 6 of the 8 things or 16 of the 25 things, I get a lot of fulfillment and purpose out of trying to envision my day and then execute on the day. And it all started with my mom and dad getting little Ricky to do those 6 things on my goal chart.
I love it. I think there's a great question here, and I'm super excited for. Take your time, take a drink. I'll stall this one.
I'm good. Let's go. Let's keep it moving.
Keep it going. Are goals and purpose the same thing? I know. I saw that question come in, and I'm like, he's gonna love this.
Your listeners are just right on it. So the idea, purpose is overarching life. It's not that you can't adjust it. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of people get a little frozen because, oh my goodness, I gotta, write in stone. No, you're discovering it, you're clarifying it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's not adjusted every year. It's up to 50 words, kind of what I recommend for people, 6 to 50 words. It's not a slogan, but it's also not, a paragraph or a blog. It's 6 to 50 words that describe who you want to be and how you want to be remembered and how you want to enact and proact in life. Where goals are those yearly things in the categories that are important for you, like relationships, like work, like financial, like spiritual, like emotional, like physical. What are those things that you want to accomplish that year in order to hit your purpose and to live your purpose? And then you break down those specific measurable goals. Like if I want to run a marathon, then that goes into my weekly plan. Or if I want to do, I want to take this course with my wife on marriage relationships, that goes into my weekly plan. I want to take 2 of the episodes or 2 of the, so it kind of cascades nicely down. Like there is some horrible statistics about goal accomplishment. Google it right now, and you'll see that 8% of people hit their New Year's resolutions. And then another study said 20% of people accomplish most of the goals. And I believe that's for 2 fundamental reasons. One, it's not connected to an overarching higher purpose. Like, why am I trying to lose weight? Why am I trying to be a great parent? Why am I trying to earn more money? You got to connect to the overarching purpose. And then on the downstream end of that, you have to connect that to your weekly and daily activities. So if you have a process to live your best life, that's going to give you the best way to accomplish your goals. And that process starts with, and this is how the book is laid out: purpose, goals, weekly planning, daily planning. And then at the end of the book, I even have a section saying, okay, what happens like in real life when you have setbacks, when you get discouraged on your path to excellence and greatness and to accomplish your purpose and goals. And that's why I have some tools in there to help people, like gratitude, like mindfulness, like acceptance, and being able to move off of discouraging moments and setbacks and turn them into learning points. Nelson Mandela, the president of South Africa, one of my heroes, I spent 2 years living there. My mother's from there, had a great saying. He said, and this is the guy who was in prison for 29 years, I never lose, I either win or learn. And I think if we can all have that mindset in life towards our goals, towards our life expectations, that it's all about either winning and being grateful or learning from our setbacks, we'd have a much happier and more successful people, wouldn't we?
Yeah. I agree 100%. So goals are what, and purpose is why.
Very good. Very good. Wow. That is a great insight from your listener. Absolutely. And it's so important to have the why before you jump to the what.
Right.
Why is that, right? Because when the going gets tough, you always got to go back to the why. Why am I trying to lose weight? Why am I trying to run a marathon? Why am I trying to be successful at work? It's for my family. It's for my purpose. It's so I can act these things for my community, my charities, whatever that might be. So that's a great insight, because people always ask me, how do I overcome the discouragement of not hitting my goals? And understanding your why is so critical. And for organizations, not just people, right? You look at the most successful organizations, they have a clear why. And you say, well, yeah, Apple, that's easy, right? Jobs and Wozniak back at the beginning wanted to be disruptors. They wanted to get a computer in every household. Dare to dream, right? Now we got 3 or 4. And they're on our phone. But back then it wasn't that. And they wanted to be the anti-IBM. They didn't dress in suit and tie. I mean, they had this whole why. And they have great products today, but we like Apple because of their why. And so organizations, even like if you're not a tech company and you're not going to revolutionize some online business, it's really important for your employees and for your customers to identify your why.
I think that's a great saying. Now here, when you're establishing these things and you're establishing your why with people, how do they get their best self to know that they're not setting up like, oh, I want to make a goal of being a billionaire by the end of next month, like something ridiculous that they really don't know if they can achieve or not? How do you help people determine their whys and know that they're not just shooting for the stars and aiming up in space?
So I hope this comes out the right way, because I know other
people
preach differently. I have, to make my net worth, to make my millions, I've never set a financial goal. I've never said I'm going to make $1 million by the end of the year. I identify the why and then the goals that will enact the leading activities in my consulting business or my CI for life that will allow me to be financially successful. There's nothing wrong with being financially successful. That's not what I'm saying. But to determine your real why has nothing to do with money. Yes, money helps and can bless your life and your family's life, etc. There's nothing wrong with having money. Let me just say that, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying never set a goal to earn $1 million. I've set my purpose to help people with continuous improvement. So part of your question though, Brandon, and I can come back to that because I saw you guys nodding your head on that one, but the other part to your question is it's really important. Like all these books, like I've got hundreds of books in here that tell you the importance of developing a mission statement or purpose statement, but nobody in all my research tells you how. And so that's why I felt compelled to write this book. Chapter 4, the 777 process, teaches you exactly how, the questions to ask in 7 days to journal and come up with your why. And I think hows are so important to teach people. And so it's got the exact questions in there. It starts with this question. I'll give you, there's 2 questions people really like, but one of them that they most like, and all the listeners can start on this one today. How do you want to be remembered? You're at your funeral. You can't control what people say, but what would you like them to say? As you're listening in, as you're above listening in from somewhere, what are they saying? What are your kids, friends, people that know you best, your parents, whatever it might be? What are they saying and what do you hope that they're saying? And then let's reverse engineer that out through goals and weekly planning and daily planning to live that best life. But one of the best questions to live your best life is that funeral question. How do you want to be remembered? I'll bet you it's not as I was the richest son of a gun, toughest as nail, whatever. It's got something to do with relationships, the values. It's the how. It's your why. It's your bringing your strengths to play every day. It's going to be something around that. And that is one of the questions that get you really focused on your real why. And then absolutely go out and be financially successful. But anyhow, it's really important that you develop that why first. Did I answer your questions? You got me all excited and rambling.
Absolutely.
No, go ahead, Gavin. I'll shut up. I'm going to keep talking.
So there was a study done back in, I want to say the 70s or the 60s, bit back in the day. And the study it was based on success, and it was measured by how much money they made, but you can still translate it to other things as well to measure success. Basically what the study was, they took 100 young men. They were all at the age of 25. They came from very similar backgrounds. For the most part, they started off as even. They were all equal for the most part, these 25 men. And they had this fire in their eyes that, they wanted to be successful. They had goals, they had dreams, they were hungry, they were motivated. By the time they were 65, one of them had become rich. 4 of them had become financially completely independent. 5 of them were still working, and the other 54 were completely broke. And what they saw was that over time, what had happened is that they had lost their goals, their ambition, their drive. And so only that one person ended up at the very top where they wanted to be, what their goal was. So what would you recommend? What is something that you have done or would recommend to keep that fire alive, to continue to be that 1 out of 100, that even that 4 out of 100 who were dependent?
This might be a different study than I'm thinking of, but the study I saw out of Harvard, 2 studies that ties into your thought there, Gavin.
Yeah.
And I do this in one of my videos, and I'll misquote it a little bit, but basically the ones that came back 40 years later successful, and I believe it was from Harvard, were the ones that had written goals. So that is my short answer to your question. Write down your purpose, write down your goals daily. This is my CI for Life planner that I've developed to help people do the purpose, goals, action plans, gratitude, daily planning. If you write it down, there's something that happens in your brain. Even one of the most Starbucks, one of the most successful companies in the world, when you go through their training program, you have to write down your goals. You have to write down your answers to when a customer comes in angry. You have to write, there's studies, people recuperating from hip surgery, that the group that didn't write their goals, the group that did write down their goals, how they wrote down their goal, and they even wrote down how they were going to respond when pain came in their physical therapy of recovering from goals. 3 times faster recovery from hip surgery for those that had it written down. So that's my one answer to your question, Gavin. The second part to that I really want to emphasize, and this goes on a don't just set to be rich goal, is Clayton Christensen, another one of my heroes, wrote a book. He was a Harvard MBA professor, wrote a book called How to Measure Your Life. And in that, he reinforces the importance of mission statements or purpose statements, but again, doesn't teach you how. So that's what the contribution I'm trying to make. I can't articulate like Stephen Covey and Clayton Christensen on why you should have it, but I can tell you how, after my own experience and helping hundreds of clients do it for themselves. But they came back, and Clayton Christensen shares this story in his book, How to Measure Your Life. All these captains of industry, very financially successful, and he cites one, but he said this was not a one-off experience. And here's this gentleman coming back as a captain of industry, very rich, very successful, on his second or third marriage, estranged from his kids, and not happy. So my passion in life is to set a balanced set of goals from your purpose. If you write a purpose statement, it's not going to be just about money. It's going to be about how your values and how you want to enact and bring your strengths and be intentional in life. And then if you set a balanced set of goals, not just financial, you're going to be happier and more successful. If you've exercised in the morning and daily plan, you're going to be more successful at work. You're going to be more financially successful. You're going to be healthier. You're going to bring better emotionality. I mean, we used to think, right, back in the old days, it was all about IQ, right? You bring that to work. Well, now we know it's about emotional quotient as well. You got to bring the EQ as well to interact with people and get along with people. And that's just as important. And now we know from research that you need MQ, you need meaning quotient, you need purpose. So you bring those three things together in your life and at your workplace, IQ, EQ, and MQ, you've got the triple. You've got the triple crown. You're going to hit the home runs. You're going to hit on all cylinders if you're bringing that to your everyday life and to your work. But Gavin, that was a long answer, but write it down and make sure you have balanced goals so that you're successful in all areas of your life.
That actually brings me to another quick question as well. You really emphasize writing down. And I noticed that you do have a physical book that you write down in. I'm a musician. When I write lyrics, I like to physically write it down with a pen and paper or pencil. Do you think that there is something about physically writing rather than typing out on your phone or putting in a Google Calendar or your notes? Do you think that there is some kind of mental difference that causes having to physically do that?
Yeah, it's kind of like I have a buddy that argues with me all the time, and he's actually really successful. I don't have goals. Nelson, I think you do. What are you doing with your son's soccer team? What are you doing with your dentistry practice? I don't write them down. Well, think what you could if you did. So, first of all, people think, I don't need goals. Sometimes it's because it's so discouraging. So point number one is you got to teach the tools and skills how to overcome discouragement. I think that's some of the biggest gifts we can give people in life is that, how to overcome it. But we can come back to that point. But to your point, is there is such power in writing it down. And I've tried the online. I'm a big online guy, obviously, with my business today. And I love writing it down. So if you have to put it in your phone, do that. But I think there is something mentally as well as actually taking a pen and paper out and actually writing down your goal, how you're going to respond when you get discouraged, how you're going to enact your best life. So I think it's kind of in layers. First of all, have it in your head. That's good. You want to go next level, get it in your phone. You want to even go next level after that. Take the time and mental thought to actually put it down on paper. And, but you can obviously use notes as well on your phone. But yeah, and actually when I wrote the chapter on written goals, I had my friend Nelson in mind, trying to find all the research and studies to show the value of writing it down.
So I'm going to run off a side topic really quick.
Okay.
You have climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. What?
Yeah. So again, right, going back to my purpose of trying to bless my family's life, bringing continuous improvement. My daughter, and my youngest daughter, I have 6 kids and 15 grandkids. And at the time, my way to connect with her was hiking. And that relationship to me is important. And she was a teenage daughter that didn't think her dad was all that, and a bag of chips anymore. And so she said, Dad, I want to, and the best talks we ever had were on hikes. And I live in the mountains here in Salt Lake. So we had lots of great hikes. Dad, I want to go to Kilimanjaro. And 4 out of the 6 were married off. So the 2 youngest, and Cheryl and I, without much training, although we do exercise every day and run marathons and stuff. Let's see, in 2017, we climbed Kilimanjaro and went on a cool safari afterwards. And it was one of those cool life moments. Interestingly enough, as a marathon runner, out of the team of 4 behind our coaches, if you will, that helped us climb, I was the person that had to go right behind the front climber, meaning I was the guy struggling the most. And they would say, Boss Ricky, just follow my steps. When you're at 19,000 feet, the oxygen conversion level is something very different than running a marathon at 2,000 feet or 4,000 feet. And so it was a lot of fun. We made it to the top. I think it was 19,341 feet. And it wasn't a technical climb. It was just, being able to climb for, it was 3 days up and 2 days down. Just being able to keep moving for that long. And the real hard part is when you're at kind of 17,000 feet and higher and no oxygen and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, what a life memory. But it just came back to what's important to me, health and fitness. what's important to me, relationships. I would have never personally had that goal, but Mackenzie had that goal. And so we said, let's do it.
Yeah.
I
Those are
absolutely love it.
crazy to put in perspective for you as well, because anytime that we measure amount, we always measure it in feet. Because if we measured it in miles, it would actually kind of be a little discouraging. Like you run marathons. Well, here's why. You run marathons. So what is that, 24 miles, correct?
26.2, yeah.
26.2 miles. Yeah, that's insane. That's a very long distance to travel, let alone run. The Earth, if you take the lowest point of the Earth's crust, the bottom of the Marianas Trench, and then the very highest points of the Earth, whichever specific mountain it is, I can't remember, but it is only 7 miles approximately.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, it's only 7 miles from the lowest point of the Earth.
But 32,000 feet or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So going along those lines with health and fitness and all that, I'm going to ask, because my dad runs marathons. Well, did. He's 60. How old am I? I'm 38. So he's 69 now. Him running marathons is still a huge accomplishment and very fun to see. But his favorite one to run is the Disney Princess Marathon because he does it with my sisters.
Okay.
So that makes sense. It's not just him dressing up in a princess dress and running, in a tutu.
That went through my head, I have to admit.
I have to admit, I try to get him to wear the princess dress, but he says running in a belle dress, that big yellow thing, doesn't work. So
they wear dresses when they run the marathon.
So honestly, buddy, it's some people choose what to wear. Some wear tutus, some wear running stuff, some wear full-on costumes. There's people in the army and that will wear their backpacks as tribute to others. Too. So it's all different stuff. What would you say would be one of your favorite marathons that you've run? But there's a hook to this one. So favorite marathon you've run, and then why is the running so essential for your health to help you be your best Rick?
Oh my goodness, there's 2 really good questions in there. So the first one, to be honest, Boston was really special because you had to qualify for it at 42 or 3, whatever it was. You had to get a certain time. And I worked really hard. It was probably, Kilimanjaro, we just kind of did. And it was a cool bucket list item. But I had to, everything I ate, everything I slept, everything I trained, followed a rigorous, disciplined system to get my 5'10", 170 frame to be able to qualify at 316. So it was pretty special. I will say the only time I'm running marathons now is with kids and grandkids. And I had the pleasure recently, 2 years apart, but my oldest son, Brett, we ran a marathon together here locally in South Jordan. And then my middle son, Taylor, we ran a marathon together. And talk about pride as a dad to be able to run with your 20-something-year-old kid and do something significant together like that. And then with Taylor last year, we actually did a half marathon as well. So that would probably be my top 3 favorite marathons. The second part of your question about really was, Brendan, why I do it and why it's so important?
Yes. Why, for you, because I'll be honest, I run, but I hate it. I despise running because I've hurt my knees, everything. My feet get tired. But when I do get into it, I set goals, something as simple as make it to that mailbox, which is maybe 2 blocks away. Yep. And it's taking those little goals and continue going for me. And that's why 1 mile is a lot for me. 26.2.
Yeah. So please. The most important thing, researchers out of Brigham Young University showed that if you do 6 days a week of 30, you're actually, you're decreasing you're stopping aging. You can improve your aging process by 10 years. So that's why I say I'm 59 and a half. It's the new 49 and a half. So, but all you really need to do is raise your heart rate for at least 30 minutes, 6 times a week. It's no longer good enough anymore to fight anti-aging, to do 2 or 3 times. You got it. But that can be walking, biking, anything, just take the dog for a walk, go with your significant other and just please, it doesn't have to be marathons. But for me, what exercise does, it's way more than physical, staying in shape, weight management. It's also mental and emotional. It is a way to start my day every day on an amazing endorphin high. So, and there's research that says that 2 to 3 hour period, if you've got, ADHD issues like I do sometimes, that you can concentrate better for that 2 to 3 hour period. So I always put my most important work, like writing a chapter of a book or whatever, right after my exercise. So there's all sorts of physiological, besides physical and weight, there's all sorts of mental and emotional benefits to exercise, whether that, and whatever form of exercise, right? Hiking, whatever form, it doesn't really matter. So that's why I do it. I just figured out that emotionally and mentally and physically, I needed something to keep up with a stressful lifestyle and the big lifestyle. I wanted to accomplish all my goals, would do my best father, be my best husband, be my best worker, be my best church servant. So I wanted to bring my best every day. And so I start with the same 10 habits every morning, like routine, like clockwork. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter, but exercise is always, always, always one of them. And it brings so many more benefits than just physical.
I love it. So really quick, I'm going to do a quick thing because you are about nonprofits. We have a nonprofit that's watching right now, and she does a virtual run, and it is a superhero run. You dress up as your favorite superhero, and you're running to help dogs. And the purpose of it is the dogs are trained to be service dogs because they help kids with families with disabilities. So I'm doing a quick plug because she did post a comment in there, and I want to make sure everybody knows, and you're a runner, so that's an essential thing. It's about helping get your sidekick for kids with special needs, being able to get their money to get their sidekick. So I've been a part of that run for 4 years now. I have to make sure I do that because I dress as Batman, I dress as Superman, I've done a Ninja Turtle outfit, anything I can to help bring a superhero out of us and be able to show that we all have that. So I knew you would like that, and I saw the comment come. I had to put it.
Isn't there? It's just so inspiring how many people are doing so many good things. And on the other hand, sometimes as we live, we don't realize that there are a lot of people suffering, whether it be military, whether it be depression, whether it be homelessness, whether it be sexual exploitation. And so everything that we can do. And so I just commend the girl there, lady, I'm not sure who that was, but
her name's Sarah. Sarah.
Thank you,
Yep.
Sarah, for what you're doing there. And, when we have these 3 Salt Lake charities come in, you're like, holy smokes, look at these good people doing some amazing things for people in the community. And sometimes we're not even aware that so many people are suffering. So yeah, let's give back. That's one of those qualities of the happiest people, is giving back, right? And contribution.
Yeah, I love it. What has been the biggest challenge you've run across? Because you've done an amazing amount of things. You have a positive energy about you that is just that she says thank you. Like, you've done so many big things, but I guarantee the struggles that have come for you, the pains that have hit you at times, have had you want to quit, have had you want to stop. How did you get yourself back up from those depressive times, from those angry times? Because somebody listening right now is in that, and they're looking for their purpose. They're looking for who they are. How would you say, get your butt out of bed, and this is what we're going to do? This is your first step to get your best you. Because I want to get the best out of Brandon, and I know Gavin wants to get the best out of Gavin.
Yeah.
And finding mentors and people like you to talk to every day is not often. So you've got to be able to grab them and be like, teach me. So teach me. How can I get the best out of me and G?
Yeah. So let me talk about micro goals or starting small, but let me just acknowledge your first statement. And that is, we all have discouragement. Maybe chemically we all have differing levels, but every day it's a choice for most of us. Some of us, we need medical and professional help. Please do that if you're really needing that. Don't be so proud as to not get medical and professional help. But every day we can choose to, with the habits, the things we do, to do different things to fight off discouragement. Because, the very nature of striving for something in our life can bring discouragement, right? Because we don't always know the timelines of when we're going to hit our goal to get our, top 10 bestseller, write a song? Like what's the odds? And, or to have, 100 downloads or 1,000 downloads of Gavin's latest tune on, so what, we don't always know the timelines, but every day it's a choice to not let your happiness be affected. And I think it starts with your daily small habits. Mm-hmm. So starting with that victory in the morning, of starting with their spiritual, physical, so journal writing, gratitude writing, exercise, those little small things that start the day. So how can you even break it down from there, Rick? So, right. So micro goals is a huge, one of the revelations I had on my own podcast, I interviewed a guy, Dr. Bob Maurer, that wrote just this little book called How to Make, by Small Things, Great Things Come to Pass, the Kaizen way. Kaizen is a form of Japanese continuous improvement. By small things come, and he told this story, and it changed, it rang to me so true. And it changed how I even coach people that are struggling to get started. So the story goes like this. He was a visiting or in a hospital unit that would train new MDs. And so he would be the second doctor in the room. Here's the internist training. And this one client would come in, and she said this wasn't a one-off situation, but I'll call her name Debbie. Debbie came in and she's suffering from hypertension, high cholesterol, overweight, stress, basically high single mother of two, and everything they were telling him to do, you need to start exercising, you blah, blah, stop, blah, blah. Nothing was happening. So finally, Bob just read this idea about Kaizen and starting small. And so he says, Debbie, do you watch TV at night to wind down from the stressful day with work and 2 kids? And yeah, I do. What's your favorite show? Oh, it's this. So, okay, what I want you to do during that favorite show tonight, can you get up and either do jumping jacks or stand in the spot for just one commercial? If it's a 2-minute commercial break, can you do that? And with Hulu now, you don't have to watch commercials. But anyhow, this is back in the day. And I love it. But anyhow, can you do that during commercials? She says, yeah, I can do that. 1 set of commercials, jumping jacks or standing in the spot. Got it. And can you come back in a week and tell me how you're doing? Got it. Comes back in a week. No weight loss, no reduction in stress. But she did it. She started and she chose standing in spot. She said, okay, Debbie, congratulations. How did it feel? I actually felt good to just kind of do something and stay active and blah, blah, blah. Great. Okay. This time I want you to come back in 2 weeks. Can you do that? Yeah. Can you do standing in spot every commercial from the TV that I can do that. This is kind of fun. I can do this. So for 2 weeks, and where the story is going. She starts an exercise routine, starts with walking, actually goes to running, loses 20 pounds, cholesterol goes, and starts improving her stress management and principles and all the things the doctor was getting to do. But how did it happen? She was too stressed to get started. Started with small, micro goals, small steps. So Brandon, my son-in-law told me a story about, okay, I have a set a goal to exercise 5 times this week. I hate running. Right? So, okay, set a micro goal. Here's another example of what Dr. Bob was talking about. The goal is real. Yes, I want to exercise for 30 minutes, walk or run, but the goal is just to get outside in my exercise gear. So if I get fearful, I'm too late, I sleep in, whatever reason, that's the real goal. Yes, I want to eventually start exercising, but the micro goal is to get dressed in my workout gear, my running shoes, and walk outside the door. And that's a check mark. And oh, by the way, it's a bonus if I go walk or run for 30 minutes. So many people using these start with small micro goals. So yeah, and he talked about the story about the first 3 days, all he did was get in his workout gear and his running shoes, step outside the door and got the check mark. And then eventually, you start running. So that's the principle. Start small. Don't freeze your brain by these big goals. I got to lose 25 pounds. I got to earn $1 million. That will freeze you up. You will get discouraged and your limbic system will freeze up. It will fight or flight you. But if you start small with small micro goals and small activities, that's why I'm a big believer when you say, I'm going to make $1 billion. No, don't set that goal. Set a small micro goal. Like, okay, in my career, what's the first small step I can do to being financially independent? Well, I can write a book. Well, what's the first small step to writing a book? Well, I can write a chapter. Well, I don't know. I'm not a great editor. Oh, okay, I can find an online editor to help me. So there's all these small steps that eventually you're heading towards your big goal. So that would be my long answer to the best advice I could give to somebody that's discouraged or can't get going on one of their life goals is start small.
Oh, I love it. We don't have much time left, but there's a couple questions here I want to hit and then give you the ending thing. So habits are the how. He's already nodding his head. Yes, I don't even need anything else.
Yeah.
When did you start journaling?
Oh, good question. That's an awesome question. I wasn't always a life journaler. What I found is that as I was trying to, in my 40s, live big and be successful in all my areas of life, it was causing quite a bit of stress. I was a COO at work. People were depending on me. I have a big family. I was trying to do it all, and I found that I needed to learn principles of stress management. So in the last 15 years, I started meditating. I started journaling. I started gratitude writing. I read a book. The first time I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle on mindfulness and meditation, I didn't even know what he was talking about. I thought he was talking about a different language. Like I knew the Western philosophies of achievement and dream big and accomplish your goals, go to the moon. But I didn't know about the Eastern philosophies of staying present, slowing down your mind, being great, all these great principles. And so that's what I've tried to do in my book is bring the front half is about dreaming big and how to do it and how to connect it. And the last half is about these tools, tricks, and tips on how to stay present and enjoy each moment. Because really at the end of the day, guys, my happiness is not determined on whether I make my $1 million or my book goes to New York Best Times seller. My happiness is determined by my habits and practices and my choices every day. And I am not subject to, if I make that $1 million, that will be an outcome of the habits and practices that I live every day. And if I can stay focused and happy and present on that. So yeah, I'm a big believer in bringing those two big ideals of striving for excellence and dreaming big, and then enjoying the journey and learning the habits and tricks and techniques to staying present and happy each day.
I love it. Last thing I'm going to read is, have you watched Jiro Dreams of Sushi? He says he's trying to reach perfection, but he knows he'll never reach it. It's the act of the journey that matters. I think Tokyo Bento said that.
I have not, Tokyo, but I tell you, that's exactly right. That's what my point is. No one can take away your happiness. The happiness does not come by hitting $1 million. How many unhappy millionaires are there at? People or listeners are saying, well, I'd like to try. But the point is not the money. Yes, the money's great. And financial independence brings great clarity of mind and relaxes you. But the journey, the happiness is in the process. The happiness is in the process of getting there. And if you can have that mindset in life, you're going to be happy. You're going to be successful. The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the habits you choose to do every day. And that will, by small things, great things shall come to pass. You will hit your goals. I don't know the timeline. I would never put I'm going to do this in a year. Oh, wow. What happens if I only got 50% of that? That's still amazing. That's 50% more than you had last year. So celebrate that rather than being discouraged. But anyhow, I know we're running out of time. I'm getting too excited here, guys.
No, you're great. You're great. Gavin, and I usually end every show by saying something to inspire our guests to get through the day. We end every episode letting the guest go last, and that way you see how we do it. But it's all about making sure we just spread positivity. Gavin, I'm going to you first, my friend. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And then Gavin, me, then you, Rick.
Okay.
So I've been thinking a lot, and I think a conclusion that I've started to come to is I think that in a sense, happiness is similar to money. And when I say that, I mean it because people often chase happiness. They often chase money. They put them in the same category as one and the same. And while money can buy you stability and like it was said earlier, like Rick said, it can bring you peace of mind and help calm you down. It doesn't buy you happiness. And if you go chasing just money, you're oftentimes not going to find happiness, which is kind of interesting because from my perspective anyway, what I've come to terms with is that if you're chasing happiness directly, it's going to be very difficult to find. Some of the most miserable people in the world are people who just focus on how do I make myself happy? What do I do to make myself happy?
Amen.
What me. What some of the happiest people, a lot of the happiest people in the world are the people who say, what can I do to keep busy? They are people who have goals, who have dreams, and they're people who give and serve. They're people who do things for others. They're people who do things for themselves, not to make themselves happy, but to keep themselves productive and progressing. And that's where the happiness comes. Money should be a byproduct of your goals and the things that you're trying to accomplish. Happiness should be a byproduct of the things that you're trying to accomplish and your goals.
Well said.
Once you realize that, it really changes your perspective on how you look at the world and how you look at your goals and the things that you want to do. And you find yourself stepping out of your comfort zone. I try my best to be very comfortable being uncomfortable, because I know that it'll open up opportunities and ways for me to indirectly become happy and indirectly become financially stable and wealthy.
Love it.
That's what I have
Very
to
well
say
said.
today.
Very well said, Gavin. Very well said. Guys, today has been probably one of my favorite episodes. Honestly, Rick came in, he created a spark, like we talked about a few weeks ago with Brett in the movie Soul. It's just like we talked about with Jiro with the spark that he had. We all have our own spark. We all have our own thing in us. But the thing is, money, power, and people get in our way. We let them dictate what our thoughts are. We want their opinion for our goals, and we lose track of who we really are. Take today to go find your purpose, to live your purpose, like Rick wrote in his book, a step-by-step guide to how to live your best life. It's on Amazon. I will share the link again while he's giving his goodbyes, but do yourself the favor and stop trying to get everybody else's opinion to make your best you. Because the truth is, the best you, only you can find. Rick, after you.
Brandon, Gavin, well said. Wow, it's just been a delight to be with you. I love your energy. I love what you guys are trying to do here on Spread Goodness and success for people. And yeah, the goal is not money for money's sake. The goal is not happiness for happiness' sake, to Gavin's point. I read an article, I'm going to butcher the term, and if Tokyo knows the right, I think it's a Kagi. There's one of the islands in Japan that have some of the happiest and long living people, and the study research paper, and they highlighted them and others, that the goal is not happiness, the goal is purpose. And if you live a purposeful life daily, and I'll call that small p, and then large p in living your whole life for a grander purpose, you will find happiness, you will find success. And that's the bottom line. And on my website, my 2 latest tools to help people do that, I have a couple of cool technology. It's ciforlife.com, the number 4 in the middle of ciforlife.org, ciforlife.org. And it's Rick Hyland, Heyland. It looks Heyland, but it's pronounced Hyland. And on there, 2 little things. Outgrow helped me develop an AI piece of software where you can answer 10 questions and get a percentage output on how you're living your best life. It's for free. Go on to my website. It's at the very top, a calculator quiz. It's such a cool thing. And then it's got all these articles and exercises you could do to increase. So whatever number, the numbers, by the way, between 1 and 100 have been between 30 and 86. My wife actually had the high one. That's another great story. But you can get on there, get your calculator, and then it'll give you some exercises to do to increase your percentage of best life. And obviously you can tell by my story today that a way to live your best life is to be super clear on either clarifying, discovering, or re-clarifying or retuning your purpose. And so that's the encouragement I make. And the other cool tool, and this is brand new technology, we can send to your phone a 2-minute, 7-day, 2-minute audio coaching each day on how to develop your purpose. The 777 process can go to your phone in 2-minute segments, and I'll take you through those 7 days of developing your purpose. And that's also on my website. A cool shout out to my friend at Piecemeal, Shirzan, develop this cool thing so that I can make it as simple as possible to live your purpose. And so you'll get this is day one exercises, and then have your journal next to you after you listen to my, that comes to your phone. You can even tell me what time, or the software, what time you want your coaching note coming to your phone. Is it in the morning? Is it at night? And I'll take you through in 7 days. And I think it's for $10. And you can develop your purpose right then and there through these coaching notes that come to your phone, audio coaching notes. So anyhow, just trying to make it as easy as possible, cost effective as possible for people to live their best life. And Brandon and Gavin, you guys are amazing. You got great energy. Keep doing your great work on Delight
Thank you
Network.
so much.
Thank you so much. Honestly, guys, go share, go comment, go like. Get this one out there, because this was a phenomenal interview that I guarantee people need to hear. There's so many people out there. Go sign up. Go purchase Rick's book. Thank you guys so much for turning in today, and we are honored that you guys have chose to start your day with us. Rick, I already want you back, so please know that we're excited.
Absolutely.
Yes. Are you taking on mentorship? Gavin and I are looking for mentors. Are you ready to take on some new guys?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Gavin, we got it. High five, buddy. Boom. I got both of you.
Virtual high fives.
I love it. Start the day. Keep going. Give good energy. Go give love. Remember to care and teach and show love to everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Thank you, Rick.
Thanks, guys.